right, Shalom. Before we get started, I'm going to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakha Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders at Great Millstone that teach and rule well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. You sincere brothers out here that's pushing His word. And you sincere sisters that's listening and learning. May the choice of election be upon your house. All right, we're back with another video. The title of this video will be, this will be a news report. All right, we're going to the news. All right, get some articles and link them up with the scriptures. All right, like we always say, we're in the end times. All right, and we know we had to be I think that's the vigilant. All right, be vigilant, diligent. All right, and be circumspect. All right, vigilant, diligent, and be circumspect. I might use that as a title for the street ministry, but we gotta stay on top of things, man, because we as we come towards the end, this devil, all right, Esau Edom's gonna come down with a great wrath, all right, which is ultimately the spirit of the Lord. All right, first, matter of fact, let's start with this article right here. All right, we know, all right, they're trying to come up with all these different type of laws and bills to come up against the Israelites who are out on the streets preaching His word. All right, revealing who are the wicked and who are the righteous, which we know the righteous are the Hebrew Israelites, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans. Now they not look righteous right now, but we're under the curses, you see. But the wicked of the scriptures are Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, who are the biblical Edomites. All right, but this is an article. North Carolina House passes Shalom Act to adapt IHRA definition, and this came out May 14, 2024. So this was yesterday, today the 15th. You see, so it says in a 105-4 vote, the North Carolina House passed House Bill 942, known as the Shalom Act, which would make the International Holocaust, all right, Remembrance Alliance (IHRA) working definition of anti-Sem, the state's guidelines in assessing hate crimes. The legislation's sponsor, House Speaker Tim Moore, said in a statement on May 8th, following the vote, "I am encouraged by the bipartisan support the bill received today in the House." Dating a press conference before the vote, Moore said, "While I believe roughly 2% of our population is J-ish, we have seen an inordinate amount of anti-Sem behavior, attacks, vandalism, you name it, physical assaults, and enough is enough." Now, nobody's really attacking these people, all right? Nobody's attacking them. Nobody's really hurting them, all right? You do have protesters, at these college campuses, which we all know those are setups, all right, by the elite. But nobody's attacking these people. Nobody's harming them, all right? They're just getting cut by these scriptures, man. All right, because the prophets are back. All right, and they're out on the highways and hedges preaching the word. All right, and the wicked is being revealed. All right, let's always get this 2 Thessalonians 2. All right, and 7 it says, "For the mystery of iniquity doth already work. Only he who now letteth will let until he be taken out of the way." And he that's going to be taken out of the way is Esau, right? "And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming." The wicked are who? All right, let's get Malachi 1:4. It says, "Whereas Edom saith, We are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai of hosts, They shall build, but I will throw down. They shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever." So that's who the wicked are. All right, Job 9:24. The earth, it says, "The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he?" So these people are the wicked. All right, these people are the ones who are running the whole earth. And this is their kingdom. This is their heaven. All right. So that's who, and it's not a black man with red hair. All right, these are biblical Edomites. Well, they're the nationality is the Edomites. All right, they were called them the so-called white man because they have white skin. All right, they have leprosy. All right, but yeah, this is who the wicked are. They're being revealed now. All right, and you know they can't hide anymore. All right, the truth is coming out. You see, and they don't want that. The let's get this. We're standing upon our feet because the Spirit of the Lord is upon us. Revelation 3 and 11, 3 and 11, 11 and 11. And after 3 days and a half, the Spirit of life from the Most High, all right, Yahweh, entered into them, and they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them. They're in fear now. All right, they're scared. They've been trying to hide this truth for, as long as possible, hoping that we never woke up. But the Lord had different plans. You see, so nobody's attacking these people. They're getting cut by the scriptures and they're being revealed. It says after an affirmative vote in the state senate, the bill will require the signature of Governor Roy Cooper. In quote, he says, while we as Americans have the right to free speech, hate of any kind has no place in our communities. We cannot address anti-Sem if we cannot define it. And bill co-sponsor Rep. Aaron Pare, Rabbi Yera, whatever his name is, Altman of Jacksonville, North Carolina, described how many people seem to misunderstand the recent surge of anti-Sem nationwide. This is probably going to be the most controversial thing I could say, Altman said, and quote, I don't think it's rising. I think it's coming out of the closet. I don't think it's new. And that's the end of the article. And they're coming up with these other different laws. Are they trying to ban the Bible? All right, you got you got the bill C367. All right, let me see. I'll go to that real quick. That was in the Canada. That's on the People's Voice. Let me see. I can pull it. Then we'll come back to this one because we want to read that with these pop-ups. Give me a moment. All right. Yeah. The Trudeau regime to ban Christianity in Canada under radical new hate speech laws, and they're not targeting, you know, Christianity. They're targeting who? Hebrew Israelites. Trudeau praying in public, reading aloud from the Bible is hate speech, to be severely punished. All right, so they're gonna try to come down. They're gonna come down with the great wrath soon, man. All right, and we can read this next one. All right, UN troops to be deployed across U.S. as Pentagon prepares for civil unrest. And civil unrest is about to come to America, man. All right, this place, Babylon the Great, is about to go down the drain. It says the Biden regime has agreed to allow thousands of UN troops to be deployed across the U.S. in anticipation of mass civil unrest in America. According to a report by Greg Reese, the UN is directing the migrant crisis in America with contingents of its own forces embedded in the military-age migrant caravans to activate civil unrest at a later date. Greg Reese reports the southern border of the United States is wide open, and the federal government has been conducting a wide-scale criminal operation of flooding the country with unvetted foreigners, disrupting them across the United States, and providing them with homes and financial support. The GOP's talk point has been that this is all about election fraud, but this has been happening all across the Western world for over a decade. This is something far more sinister than election fraud. The population division of the United Nations concerns themselves with international migration. In the year 2000, they published replacement migration, a solution put forth to deal with declining and aging populations. For years, we were told that this was a conspiracy theory, but now that we are seeing tens of millions murdered by the experimental shots, which is what? That jump shot people was taking. taken. It is becoming more clear what the objective is. We are told that these are poor families fleeing tyranny, but there are massive amounts of healthy young men without any families. And time again, we have seen them act violently against the native population with very little repercussions from the law, as we are expecting to announcement Salaki, as we are expecting the announcement of DX and another lockdown. A recent report from the UK's Jim Ferguson provides a plausible explanation of what we are seeing. And he goes into it. I really don't want to read all of that, but I'll read a little bit. And quote, he says, "This isn't normal. This isn't normal. There's something not right. This isn't just refugees coming. These are people fleeing from some kind of war zone. These are predominantly men aged between 25 and 35, young fighting age men, as my old boss, Nigel Farage once referred to them, and I think he's right. John, what do you think? What do you think's going on here, mate?" Right? End quote. He says, "So I can tell you, these are UN soldiers, and they will be deployed by the WHO when they announce the next pandemic lockdown. That's what's going to happen. They've been trained by British soldiers, been trained by the Black Watch Regiment. They were trained in Antalya in Turkey and in the east of Ukraine. They're predominantly down to sergeant ranks. They're then shipped to France. They all signed the official secret acts. Then they're ferried over. If you were wearing Salaki, if you were fleeing war and tyranny, I don't know about you, but I will certainly take my wife and children with me. Right, the most precious, they're my prized asset. They're everything to me. If you're going to war, you go to war with lads. They gonna be deployed. They will be deployed. John O'Looney. It says, and quote, Jim Ferguson, John, John, I mean, you say you spoke to people in Black Watch. I mean, Black Watch, a very famous yellow regiment. Are they actually going along with this? He goes into a long, they just go back and forth, so, hey, this could be something. All right. This could be, nothing. You see, but, hey, you never know, man. All right. We know the scriptures do say, all right, let's get Second Esdras. So this could actually be something, Second Esdras 16. I'll start at 17. Salakia, wrong one. Second Esdras 15. I'm gonna start at 14. It says, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and when people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands." The modern day sword, all right, today is these guns, man. All right, these firearms, and a lot of people have them. All right, from especially the Edomites, Jakes. All right, everybody has them, and there's definitely gonna be race wars out here. We're gonna see it, man. It's gonna be a time of lawlessness, civil unrest, like they said, and that's the time we're coming into. You see, you might not get, it's gonna be a time where, hey, it's gonna be mayhem. All right, that's what the Lord is about to bring. All right, and we gotta pray and hope. He keeps us protected. We are the elect. All right, He keeps us safe in that day, man. Because there's gonna be a lot of judgment going out. Verse 16: For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. You see, people will be fighting against one another. All right, they're gonna come up against the government. All right, riots, looting. All right, this was coming, man. We got prepared. Verse 17: A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. Right, you got these troops set up, and then these UN troops, setting up. All right, blockades, can't go into certain parts of the city. All right, they're gonna keep you confined to a certain area, man. And don't forget they got these 15-minute cities being built. I think it's already one in Arizona. You see, I did a video on it. I think it was back in March. Right? It says, "For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid." People will be in a fearful mind in that day. It says, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, with those firearms, and it's not just gonna be one, all right, maybe not just one or two, it may be three, four, five guys, man, gangs. You see, people gonna be getting up, people are gonna be getting together and forming gangs. You see, and spoil their goods. Taking your food, your water. All right, they may even take your woman if you have one, and your kids, because of the lack of bread, lack of food and water, and for great tribulation. So that's why these things are gonna happen, man. Ultimately, because the Lord is bringing judgment. You see, it's gonna be a great time of testing, and so they can roll in there, and Esau's gonna allow this, so they can roll in their new world order, because they want there's some type of crisis to happen to bring in that C hip. All things lead to that microchip, man. All right, let's read this in a good new translation. All right, so this is what was coming down the drain. All right, coming to Babylon. Let's get a second address. 16. Salaki 15. All right, and 14. It says what? The world and the people in it are doomed. The war that will bring their destruction is very near. Nations will arm themselves and fight against other nations. There will be great political turmoil, with one group trying to overpower another and gain control while ignoring the legitimate government. There will be no longer free. Read that again. There will no longer be free access to the cities, because the struggle for power will because the struggle for power will bring destruction, terror, and total confusion where people live. Give me 1 second. I think it's some water, right? Let's read it again. It says there will be great political turmoil, with one group trying to overpower another and gain control while ignoring the legitimate government. Matter of fact, let's put this in another translation. Let's go to, let's see what the comment. CEB, they add that a Christian edition. Verse 14 though. CEBA, how terrible it will be for the world and those who live in it. The sword and distress draw near, and nation will rise against nation to fight with spears in their hands. And they go off on that. It says swords. All right, which is the modern day guns, right? Human beings won't be able to trust each other, right? Trust gonna be very low in that day, man. All right, people gonna be turned against one another as they grow strong against each other. They will pay no respect to their king or to the powerful chief of their great men. Someone will want to go into the city and won't be able. Cities will be thrown into confusion because of their pride. Houses will be destroyed. People will be afraid. People will have no mercy on their neighbors. They will cause their neighbors trouble by breaking into their houses with swords to pillage their property, because they are hungry for bread and in great distress. You see, there's gonna be a great tribulation at the time of trouble, man. You see, and people gonna be breaking into your house, taking what you got. It's gonna get crazy in that day, man. And we gotta prepare ourselves for this stuff. Let's get Matthew 24:21. It says, for then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no nor ever shall be. So Jacob's trouble is like it's gonna be like no other time in history, man. All right, all the things that happen in history, Jacob's trouble they're not gonna even compare to Jacob's trouble. You see, so this is what's coming. I had another one real quick, Matthew 10, because it mentioned people betraying one another. Matthew 10 and matter of fact, yeah, Matthew 10 and 21. It says, I started 16. It says, behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be ye therefore wise as serpents, or harmless as doves. Right. When we go out in the streets and preach, we got to use wisdom. All right, it can't be, carnal. Got to be spiritual, because you get yourself hurt. All right, it goes for myself as well. We got to be use wisdom while we're out there preaching. All right, because some brothers, they teach by themselves, you know, so they don't have, brothers around them. All right, so definitely, we definitely have to use wisdom when we're out, right? We don't want to cause any trouble. Verse 17, but beware of men, for they will deliver you up to the councils, and they will scourge you in their synagogues. Persecution is on the way, man. We're going to be persecuted for this word, you see. And ye shall be brought before governors and kings for my sake, for a testimony against them and the Gentiles. But when they deliver you up, take no thought how or what ye shall speak, for it shall be given you in that same hour what ye shall speak. For it is not ye that speak, but the Spirit of your Father which speaketh in you. And the brother shall deliver up the brother to death, and the father the child, and the children shall rise up against their parents and cause them to be put to death. So people your own family members are going to turn on you, man. All right, so you got to be careful. Even, your family members, friends, close relatives you think are cool, all right, they're going to turn on you, man. You see, it says, and ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake, but he that endureth to the end, the same shall be, to the end shall be saved. But when they persecute you in this city, flee ye into another. For verily I say unto you, ye shall not have gone over the cities of Israel till the Son of Man be come. So persecution is coming. All right, you will be betrayed. You will be lied on. All right, so this is what we got to prepare for. You see, let's get this one over here. I just want to read this. All right, another bridge being hit. It says, barge hits a bridge connecting Galveston and Pelican Island, causing partial collapse and oil spill. Galveston, Texas. This is from AP News. A barge slammed into a bridge pillar in Galveston, Texas on Wednesday, spilling oil into surrounding waters and closing the only road to a smaller and separate island that is home to a university, officials said. There were no immediate reports of injuries, although officials said one person on the barge was knocked into the water and quickly rescued. The bridge that leads to Pelican Island, north of Galveston, was struck by the barge around 9:50 a.m. in the morning, when a tugboat backing out of Texas International Terminals, a fuel storage operator next to the bridge, lost control of two barges it was pushing, said David Flores, a bridge superintendent with the Galveston County Navigation District. The current was very bad, and the tide was high. He lost it, Flores said. One of the barges hit the bridge and two telephone poles, he said. The accident came weeks after a cargo ship crashed into a support column of the Francis Key Bridge in Baltimore on March 26, killing six construction workers. I remember that. That happened, not too long ago, right? So, a lot of this is a trend, bridges being hit, all right, collapsing, falling apart, you know. Let's get this real quick. I think that's second. Let me see. No. Might be first. No. Yeah. Second Corinthians 2:11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. You see, we're not ignorant of Esau's of what he's doing, man. He wants this to happen. All right, because it says a famine's gonna come. All right, plagues and all that, man. We're in the latter days, so he wants there's certain stuff to happen. You know, the accident Wednesday knocked one man off the vessel into the water, but he was quickly recovered and was not injured, said Galveston County Sheriff's Office Major Ray Nolan. I think that is it. It said the tugboat was pushing bunker barges, which are fuel barges for ships, Flores said. The accident resulted in oil spilling from the barge into the channel off Galveston Bay, and crews were working to clean it up, he said. The barge, which is owned by Martin Petroleum, has a 30,000 gallon capacity, but it's not clear how much leaked into the bay, said Galveston County spokesperson Spencer Lewis. He said about 6.5 miles of the waterway were shut down because of the spill. It says Galveston County Judge Mark Henry said the temporary closure of the waterway should not have a significant impact on water commerce in the area. This area is somewhat isolated, Henry told KTRK. It's not part of the intracoastal waterway and it's not part of the Houston Ship Channel. They have other options around this area. And you can, they got the pictures right here. You see. You can read the rest on your own. All right. I'll put the link in the description. But, this is a trend. All right, now, first Baltimore, and now, this happening in Texas. And they said the one that happened here in Baltimore, they said, like, the same day, what happened in, like, Ohio, some caught on fire on the bridge. So, Esau, they planning something, man. And, let's get this real fast. Psalm 64:2 says, hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity, who wet their tongue, which that word wet is sharpened, right? Who wet their tongue like a sword, and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words, that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly do they shoot at him, and fear not. They encourage themselves in the evil matter. They communally and snares privately. They say, who shall see them? They search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search, both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep. So, that's what they do, man. All right, they can't even, they always thinking of a evil plan to hit the people with, especially the the Israelites. You see, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, right? But the Most High shall shoot at them with an arrow. Suddenly shall they be wounded. The Lord's gonna shoot his arrows at you. So they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. They got these different Edomites are coming out and speaking against, the wicked elite. You see, even the ones in Hollywood, it's controlled opposition, right? All men shall fear and shall declare the work of the Most High, for they shall wisely consider of his doing. The righteous shall be glad in the Lord, and shall trust in him, and all the upright in heart shall glory. You see? So, this is what's going on, man. All right, there's a lot of prophecy that's happening, but we can't keep up with this stuff, but it's up to you, to do your what's the word? Your research. Stay on top of things, be circumspect. All right, because the times we're coming into, we're in those times, man. People getting choked out. Brothers going into different. People. You got people in the Israelite. In this truth. Who's just bugging out. You got Hoover Crips. All right, chief priests. You got different leaders with a jacket saying cult leader on it. So different bug outs are popping up. All right. So we gotta be vigilant, man, because a lot of agents are among us as well. So you gotta watch your back and stay on point. So Lord willing, this was edifying to you brothers and sisters out there. I'm gonna give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and elders at Great Millstone that teach and rule well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. Shalom to you sincere brothers out here that's pushing this word. And you sincere sisters that's listening and learning. May the choice of election be upon your house. All right, Lord willing, it was edifying. All right, I'm going to say Shalom, Kwam, Yasharala, Wa Abba Baba. All right, Shalom. Wake up, Jacob.